The Edifier WH700NB is bringing you features and sound quality well past their tiny price tag, especially when it comes to how they sound. So today I'll be comparing them to the Soundcore Space Q45. They're 3 times the price, but the Edifiers get super close in overall quality. So starting with the build quality, this is relative to the price. You just get basic hard plastics on the 700s, but overall it's a sturdy enough build. The Q45 feel a lot more solid with more premium feeling plastics. The Edifiers are slightly lighter though, at 270 grams, Soundcore at 290 grams. The headband adjustment locks in place really well. A lot of budget headphones are normally quite loose and move out of place easily. And the 700s have a nice amount of cushioning on the headband, slightly more than the Q45, and they have a similar amount of clamping force. It's quite minimal, and I do have a larger than average head. I also have pretty massive ears, and the ear cups on the 700s are okay for me. For normal size ears, you should be fine. I just wish they were slightly lighter and a little bit deeper for me, where the Q45 work with my ears a lot better. The ear cups on both pairs get slightly warm. It's pretty hot here in Australia right now, but overall, I'm happy with the comfort. The headband does stick out quite a bit, definitely not the most low profile look. I personally don't care though. Now, both are designed for more casual use. I personally wouldn't use either of them when weight training or exercising, as they're most likely gonna just fall off your head with a minimal clamping force. Fine for walking though, and in my running test, they stayed on fine as well. Moving your head around and stuff like that when weight training, they're probably gonna fall off. And definitely avoid getting either of these pairs wet. Neither of the headphones have any IP rating. And sadly, you don't get a hard case with the 700s, not even a soft case, which would have been nice. I mean, you can just buy a cheap pair on Amazon, but of course the Q45 include a hard case. And the ear cups fold in both ways, so they should fit in most cases. Now the battery life here is pretty similar on both pairs. You get 68 hours with noise cancelling off and 45 hours with noise cancelling on. Both have fast charge. 10 minutes will give you 8 hours playback on the Edifiers. 5 minutes gives you 4 hours on the Soundcores. Both charge via USB-C, but you aren't getting a 3.5mm auxiliary port on the Edifier 700s. I know they're a budget pair, but it would have been nice to see that. The Q45 do have this option. Now you're getting button controls on the right ear cup. It's a super natural placement. You get a nice tactile feel, so you know what you're pressing. It actually feels a lot more natural to use than the positioning on the Q45s. And you have the option to control everything, skipping tracks forward and back, volume up and down, play, pause, as well as your noise cancelling adjustment and voice assistant. You do have the option to customize the noise cancelling switching in both apps if you only want to switch between, let's say, noise cancelling and transparency mode. You don't get any detection though to automatically pause and play your music when you take the headphones on and off. Definitely not expected at this price. Now connectivity, you're just getting Bluetooth 5.3 and the SBC codec. Not even AAC, which just seems to be a thing Edifier does with a lot of their budget options. Or in the Q45, you get AAC as well as LDAC high res. Still, the 700s are gonna work fine whether you use them on iOS or Android. An advantage of SBC though is lower latency when gaming. Now when watching videos, your latency is completely fine, but you're getting much lower latency on the 700s, even without the low latency gaming mode on. But when you chuck the low latency gaming mode on, this is some seriously low latency. Here are the results I got in my test on both iOS and Android. Casual games, 400 milliseconds is fine. You do want to get closer to 200 milliseconds if you're into faster reaction games like shooters. And I was pretty surprised to see multi-point connection on the 700, so you can connect 2 devices to the headphones at the same time. You just need to pause playback on one device before you resume it on the other device. And of course, the Q45 also have multi-point. But now let's see how the call quality compares. All right, so starting the test here, recording off my iPhone 15 Pro, so you get an idea of the noise going on around me. All right, so here's the call quality of the Edifier WH700NB. All right, and here's the call quality of the Soundcore Space Q45. All right, now let's talk about noise cancelling. First, how I test my noise cancelling. I chuck on my soundbar and I'm playing simulation, plain noise and crowd noise. I'm getting low, middle, high, inconsistent, as well as consistent sounds. And just being honest here, for the price, it's just okay. I thought it was gonna be better. I mean, I am going off Edifier's true wireless earbuds. A pair like the TWS1 Pro 2 at a similar price, that's the best budget noise cancelling you can get. I've got them ranked 9th in my overall noise cancelling ranking, where I would rank the 700NB in the 18th or 19th spot. The Q45 is actually very similar in quality to the TWS1 Pro 2, so they're roughly in the 9th spot. So with the 700, it blocks out consistent sounds quite well. Things like voices and inconsistent sounds, it really does struggle with. And this is just active noise cancelling, so it only uses one microphone to block out noise, where the Q45 uses hybrid adaptive noise cancelling, so that's going to use 2 microphones, so that's why it's superior. But an area where the 700s are superior to the Q45 is with EQ shift. So that's how your sound quality changes when you have noise cancelling on compared to noise cancelling off compared to transparency. And on the 700s, I'm barely noticing any difference going between the three. If anything, when you have noise cancelling on and transparency, you lose a couple of % of detail in the treble. Where on the Q45, the EQ shift is pretty bad. Like going from noise cancelling off to noise cancelling on, it almost sounds like a completely different kind of tuning. They still sound great with noise cancelling on, but there's just a massive difference and I'm not a fan of it. Another issue with the Q45 is when switching between the noise cancelling and transparency, it's quite hard to hear the change that you made when you're above 60–70% volume. Where in the 700s, the volume is brought down slightly, so you're able to hear the change you make at any volume range. And another area where Edifier takes a win is with the transparency mode. Now out of the box, it's not the best, but you can customize it in the app. I have it all the way to 3 and it's still quite natural. I found it super easy to hear voices and surroundings quite well. It only struggled with wind noise outside, so it kind of didn't pick that up too well. The Q45 in comparison just sounds a little bit more digital, not as natural, and no matter how you customize it, it really struggles at picking up voices. But now onto the sound, and the 700NB is the main reason why I'm getting back into reviewing headphones. I just had the box sitting on my desk for a while, but I thought I'd just take him out, give him a little try, and on my first listen, I was blown away. For some reason, I didn't expect such a cheap pair of headphones to sound so good. I don't really know why, because I test a lot of true wireless earbuds that are even cheaper than these, and they also sound great, but anyway, they just sound great. You get rich bass, excellent mid-range clarity. It's definitely the standout. So the instrument separation is super nice here. And it's just a fun, energetic tuning. And when I turned on the Rock EQ preset, they sounded even more exciting. The only downside is that you only get presets, no EQ customization, which also seems like just a thing Edifier is doing with their cheaper pairs. I really hope that changes. But overall, the sound for the price you're paying, it's insane. The only critique I have is with the treble detail. This is mainly in those really high frequencies, so things like crashes and hi-hats can sound a little bit digital and sort of distorted in a slight way. It's quite subtle. I played drums for quite a while, so I do notice these things. But now onto how the sound quality compares to the Q45s, because it's super close. The Q45 is a slightly more balanced tuning, you get better instrument separation, and the most noticeable difference is a much wider soundstage. Soundstage on the 700s is a little bit closed in, but the 700s have a more energetic and dynamic tuning, so it really depends on what you prefer. The Q45 is giving you full band customization, as well as a hearing test to tailor the sound to how you hear. But overall, the 700NB, pretty hard to fault with the price you're paying. And for more on great Edifier value, check out this video here. It's my TWS1 Pro 2 review, the strongest noise cancelling you can get under $100. So check it out. In the meantime, stay picky. I'll see you in the next one. Bye now.